Sheeple.
democracy is the greatest psychological operation of our modern era, because it is structurally corrupt, not incidentally. It is necessarily bad, always. Right? Democracy is inherently bad. It is. I mean, how would you define democracy?
Democracy, in my definition, is ruled by the mob, ruled by the majority, and the majority is basically, I mean, average IQ, average normie conformie. So they're the ones making all the rules and all the laws, and it basically means ultimate doom for at least 30% of the population. And when you're talking about 30% of the population, generally the 30% of the population that it's bad for are the people that are probably contributing the most to the overall society. So they're the ones that are ultimately harmed, and they're the ones that are actually the other ones contributing. I'm quoting, of course, Benjamin Franklin, who said that there's 30% of the population that is movable, there's 30% of the population that's immovable, and there's 30% of the population that moves. And the 30% of the population that he said moves is basically the movers and shakers, is what he's referring to. And like I said, when you have the immovable who are going to stick at that policy no matter what, and we see this in the mega movement, we also see it in the, the Biden, Harris, and, Democrat and wokey conformie. So that's 60% of the population, which is the majority, democracy. And the 30% that is the movers and shakers, there might be some segue there between the different groups and different, A and B or black and white. But the reality is that they're the ones that are ultimately affected, because they're the ones that are keeping the society together. That's my definition, my take on it.
I don't disagree with any of that. But what is the normie conformie understanding of democracy?
Normie conformity of democracy means that everybody's equal, equity and inclusion, equality, and that everybody's the same.
And rule of the people, and rule of law, and order, and democratic governance. So the thesis of this episode is that democracy is, by definition, a lie.